here.
Love that for Angel.
Mhm.
He's getting the works.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll run you through this PowerPoint really quickly, but since you're already like a ViMove Plus customer, it's going to be pretty easy. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so we've ran through this on your AMI. So just updating automatic updates. You should be good to go.
Do you mind if I
On
eat maca while you're
Oh
I'm
yeah,
listening to you? Okay.
you do your thing. You're good to go. Okay, so instead of using 4 sensors for the running module, you're going to use 2 sensors for the running
Okay.
module. Still the same thing, set serial numbers. And for this assessment, you're just going to use the smaller adhesives. So no
Mhm.
low back. So it's just going to be on 2 shins. So you'll need to make sure that you have the template. And then it's going to be the exact same setup as how you're used to doing it with the lower part. So the inferior edge of the medial malleolus, based off their height, measures up on the tibia, and we're making sure that we're putting the sensors on the actual bony structure. And then have you been able to log into your system to see the run module?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, good. Okay, so just to kind of run you through this really quickly. So when you select run, and we'll go through this step by step, we're going to run through a couple of them today. The running is just super easy to use. So when we're looking at the auto laps, you have options of 60 seconds, 90 seconds, or 120-second intervals. Okay, so how this works is you're going to put Angel on the treadmill, and we'll run through this. You're going to put Angel on the treadmill, and you're going to select, let's just say we select the 60-second intervals. You're going to have him run for 5 minutes. Every 60 seconds, it's going to pick up live data of those 60-second intervals.
Okay.
Okay. So it's going to produce live for the first 60 seconds. You're able to make like kind of live coaching cues for him, like, hey, push through your right leg a little bit more and see how the next interval kind of changes.
Okay.
Okay. And then the manual lap, we're going to run through that too. That's going to be your own start and stop. Okay. So you can dictate it has to be up to at least a minute. Right now we're adding something, so you'll get like a new version of this too. So right now we don't have like a timer on it. And I'll run you through this, but in the next build, it's going to be pushed out hopefully this week. You'll have a timer on that, but you're able to start and stop at least a minute. And then we have to complete all 3 reps for this.
Okay.
And then did we do the acceleration deceleration test on the AMI? I can't remember.
Yeah, we do that.
Okay, and the directions are a little different. So we'll just kind of talk through that once the time comes, but just for kind of your info. For the auto lap, and I'll send you this PDF too. You have to do a minimum of, if you choose 60-second intervals, you have to do a minimum of a minute for the run. If you choose 90 seconds, you have to do at least 90 seconds of the run. If you choose 120 seconds, you have to do at least 120 seconds. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Your maximum time for the run is 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. And then the video is going to capture the entire run. So right now, just because of a storage concept, we're not able to view it on the actual portal. So it's only saved locally for right now. Okay. So what that means is if you delete the app or have to uninstall the app at all, it'll delete that video. We're working through ways of like how we're going to save it. So not quite interfering with HIPAA, how do we get it on the portal, all that good stuff. But I have some questions to ask you after this to see what you prefer. The manual lap, you'll do a maximum of 3 reps, minimum of 1 minute per rep, maximum of 5 minutes per lap. Okay, so you'll do start and stop. You can do a 5-minute lap, start and stop for the second one, 5-minute lap, start and stop for the third one, 5-minute lap for a total of 15 minutes. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then same concept, only able to view it on the app right now. And then for the acceleration deceleration test, our directions are a little different from the AMI. This is actually going to be the new directions for the AMI, because what we're noticing like on the new on the AMI, we're not getting enough steps for a lot of customers because they don't have that gym space.
Uh-huh.
Or it's not like appropriate for like an offensive lineman to be running 30 yards to get enough steps, right? So what we're doing is the subject will start in a complete stop position. They'll sprint 10 yards, stop, turn around and walk back. And they'll repeat that 2 more times for 1 capture. So basically you'll press start. And once they've completed the 3 reps of the sprints, you'll press stop.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then it's going to average all of those together to get your GRF, your IPA, your cadence, etc. And the reason for that is because we want to make sure that we're capturing enough steps. When they turn around and walk back, that doesn't get picked up through our data.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And so then any questions on this at all?
No.
Okay. And again, I'll send this to you so you have all this info. So like I said, we're only going to be using 2 sensors. So the white will still go on the right leg. Purple will go on the left leg. Okay. Here's the picture to show you like how to put them on, but you're familiar with that. And then this is what the screen's going to look like for the 60 seconds. You'll have your video, and then this is where the data is going to capture, and then you have your instruction box. So instruct the runner to run at desired speed and form. And then this is what it'll look like. So super cool.
So you kind of have like you would need for them to wait to get to their desired pace before you click start.
Yeah, so you can play it a couple different ways. You can play it like, so usually what I'll do, and we can play around with it a little bit to see like what you like. So what I'll do is I'll just say, okay, I want you to run at your pace of what your normal race pace would be if they're like a cross country runner. Okay, what's your normal race pace? Once you get up to that and you're comfortable in that position, give me a thumbs up. Once they give you that thumbs up, we'll press start, and then you're tracking them for that amount of time. Now, you can have them like come in for the session and have them run the 10 minutes, and then when they're ready, you can start taping them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might just have to reconnect the sensors. That would be the only thing. But like if you have them run 10 minutes, have them quick cop off real quick, put the sensors on them. Once you're back in your desired pace, give me a thumbs up. Yep. And we can, like I said, we can play around with this. We have time for it. Okay, so I do have some questions on the video feedback. So since you know how we're always updating our apps, which I love our developer for that. So right now with the video, like I said, we can only view it locally. We're not able to view it on the portal. So we have a couple of ideas, but I want to make sure that we're staying within HIPAA guidelines and then making it appropriate for the customer. So would you be more interested in viewing it from the portal and seeing just the first minute of each run? So for instance, if you had a 5-minute, so say we're doing the manual and I want to tape them for 5 minutes of the run. In order for me to save it up to the portal, I can only capture 1 minute of it just because it's a long video to upload into the portal. And within that minute, I would only be able to see that first minute of that first rep of the 5-minute run. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm not sure, Maka, because usually for runners, there are runners that they would start getting symptoms like after the 1 minute, and especially the endurance runners that I always have that pain at like quarter of a mile or something like that. Does that answer your question though? I'm not sure if we could get as much data for that 1 minute, but yeah, I mean, but for like endurance runners, like the marathoners or like, yeah, we would need more than that.
Right. So let me ask you this. So then like if you're going through the manual and you have 3 reps, so you have the first minute captured on video of the first 5-minute rep. Then you have the second rep. So you have the 6th minute of the rep of the 15-minute run. And then the last one you would have the 10th minute. Do you know what I mean? So you'd have 1 minute, 6 minute, or 11 minutes, I guess.
Would be good. Yeah.
That would be better. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'd be able to view it in the portal.
Right.
Okay. Or the other option is, would you want to save it to your library on your laptop, or I'm sorry, on your iPad? So like, your video library. So
Right.
this would, so then you could just,
Which I can like save to our G drive, which is
Mhm.
HIPAA. Is that possible?
so that, so then I guess what your G drive, would you be able to offload that from your photos into that drive? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You typically do that with other like videos?
Yes, I do that.
Yeah, then I wouldn't see that being a problem. The only thing that I think about is like from a HIPAA compliance, if it goes into your photos or your videos, you forget to delete it, someone
True.
takes your iPad, it's not a sign in. So I wasn't sure if that was accommodating or if it was, do you know what I mean?
I think I'm not sure because the iPad has a pin, so there's still security there. I'm not even sure if I don't think that will violate HIPAA. Then if I'm able to transfer it to our G drive, which is HIPAA compliant, then there should be no problems with that. As long as even if I don't delete it right away, there's
Yeah.
still securities in the iPad.
Okay. So then
I'd much
if
rather do that.
you would much rather do save it to the photos than view it from this one. Okay.
Right. Right.
No, that's good. Library. I'm gonna just make a little note.
That way I could, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then the last two questions. So just with the video being uploaded, would you rather have better quality of the video and a slower upload? Or would you rather have not as great of quality and a quicker upload? Do you know what I
Um,
mean by that?
yeah, a better quality and slower upload. I would always just go by better quality of the video.
Okay. And then still like just even a little slower of an upload.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you for answering those.
of course.
We're still working through that a little bit, how we want to play it. And what better way to figure that out than ask our customers? So,
Right.
okay, any
Thank you
questions?
for asking.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay, are you ready to get going?
Yes, I am.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to have you share your screen from your iPad again. Do you want me to send you the link?
Yes, we did the teams, right?
Do you want me to send it to your normal email that I send this to?
What email do you have there? My Maxicare email?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Or do you want me to send it to a Gmail?
Um, let's try the Maxicare one first.
Okay.
And of course, my Teams, I need to load it. Hold on. Oof, I haven't used this for a while. That's why I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, I just sent that over.
Okay. Can you send it to Gmail as well, Maka? Because I think
Yeah.
we've had this problem before that I'm not getting it.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
no, I got it. I got it.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was like, I
Yeah,
knew
it's
it was
just
a
that I don't want to click this until my Teams, the Team app completes installing because for some reason, because I haven't used it for a while. So give me a few
Yeah, you're
seconds.
good.
How's pregnancy going?
It's going. I'm hitting the tail end of it. That
How
is
far
for
along
sure.
are you? 36, 37?
37.
Okay.
And he's a big baby. So he's measuring very large right now.
Oh my gosh. And you said you're tall and narrow?
Yeah, so I'm 5'9" and my husband's 6'7". So
Oh my
we
gosh, my husband's 7.
we
Crazy.
knew it was gonna be a big baby, but he's already 7 pounds 8 ounces right now.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It is
Well, you'll be
wild.
okay.
Yeah,
It
we'll be all
is.
right.
Okay, so let me just click on this link. It's connecting.
You'll want to mute probably the laptop, I think. So I'm gonna let you in. Then unmute your iPad, I believe, and then you'll press share screen.
Okay. Unmute my iPad.
And then press share screen, the arrow.
Right?
Yeah,
Share
you'll
screen.
probably. I'm gonna mute.
Can
your-
you hear me?
Yeah. I just muted your laptop. So does that take away the? Can you hear me? Turn your
Yeah.
volume up on your iPad. Okay. All right. So you'll press share screen, and then you'll want to do share entire screen, and then broadcast. Perfect. And then click out of that. So just like click on the random part of the screen.
There we go.
And then you can minimize me and open up your app.
What do you mean minimize you? Oh, okay.
Or you can just open up your app.
Okay.
Go back to the home screen. Yeah.
I got it.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll go into subject. Do you want to just add, or do you want to just keep it with Angel?
Yeah.
Press
Click.
view.
Yeah.
And then assess new test at the top right.
Run.
And then select run.
Hold on. Do I need to turn on the sensor already?
No, go ahead and, if they're charging, that's perfect. But go ahead and press select run. And which one do you want to start out with? Do you want to start out with 60 seconds, 90, 120? Let's start with the interval. But yeah, you can click and like swipe them.
Let's start at this. Let's try the 60 first.
Okay. Go ahead and press select. And now you're going to take the sensors out of the dock and turn 2 sensors. So 2 sensors out of the dock and turn them on.
Okay.
And you can hit, yeah, rescan. And then you'll just toggle those sensors on. Once that button comes on, connect sensors. Awesome. And then hit next.
Purple and white.
Okay,
Okay.
so now you're going to attach the sensors. So you're going to take your tibia template, find his inferior edge of the medial malleolus. Hi again, Angel. Thanks for playing.
You there?
Or just
Yep.
using sensors, leg sensors?
Yeah. Just...
And then once you have those marked, you're going to find the white sensor first. And put it on one of those small adhesives.
The white and the lights should be up, right?
Correct. So you're going to put the white on the right leg. The line is going to intersect the sensor, and it's going to be placed vertically on the tibia with the light up. And then the purple goes on the left, same way.
Okay.
Awesome. And then once those are set up, you can hit next.
Okay.
Or sensors attached. Everything is good to go. Are you ready to run? Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so here's the instructions to instruct the runner to run at the desired speed and form. So what you'll do is you'll just have Angel go on to the treadmill.
Okay. So you're on a treadmill. He's there.
Awesome. And then you're just going to have him run at his desired speed. So, for instance, if this was like a cross country runner, whatever you want to see them in. So like, let me see your race pace. Once you're up there, give me a thumbs up. And then Sharon, you're just going to press start.
Okay. So you're gonna run at your speed, Dada. You wanna once you're at your speed, give me a thumbs up so I could click start. Do I take the video, right, Maka?
Yeah, so from the video, you can either do the video from the side, from the front, like whatever you want to do. But the hard part is remember to watch those the corners of the iPad because that's going to block your Bluetooth signal.
Oh, that's right.
But what you're doing right now is good. You're in the green, so. And then once he's at the desired speed and you feel good, you're just going to press start. And there's your timer at the bottom.
Yeah.
So you'll have to at least go for 1 minute. But if you want to do like 2 minutes, so like if we want to see the live metrics and then give him some cueing, it might be interesting to see him run for a couple minutes.
Can you move as you take the video?
Totally.
Okay. And then I hit stop when it's 60, right? Or it will the app just stop, like end or
So
stop?
how long do you want him to run for?
About 5 minutes.
Okay, so you're going to let it go for 5 minutes. So you're not going to hit stop until it hits 5 minutes.
Gotcha.
But when the times, oh, what?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm asking Angel.
Oh.
You're okay with running 5 minutes, Daddy, right? Okay. Are we
Okay,
good
so
to
you can,
time Maka if I have him run for 5 minutes?
yeah, you're golden. So
Okay.
if you see the timer, so that's your first 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So those are the metrics of the left and the right. So it looks like his IPA is a little high. So coming in on his left leg, he's kind of coming at more of a vertical step. So you might want to try and give him like a little bit of cueing to see if that corrects some of it.
Okay. Is there
Could
like
be like-
metrics to the IPA to these norms
Yeah.
to this metric?
So there's no norms. The running community does not like us giving norms because every runner is different.
Okay.
But I do have like a best, or like I have a running metric explained, so it kind of makes more sense to
yeah.
it.
Send that to me.
Okay, so he's at 15.68% difference of IPA, so good. So whatever he did once he kind of warmed up into his second minute, see how that changed?
Yeah.
Now he's only 9% off.
Yeah.
Yeah, his ground reaction force is super symmetrical. His contact time is really good.
Okay. Still there, Maka?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
All right. So let's see
You know,
what this one picked up.
it's-
So now it picked up a little bit. So maybe
Right.
cue him for something for his IPA coming into his right leg. Maybe take a shorter stride or quieter on his right side, something like that.
Hey, did you hear that, Daddy? Take a shorter stride on the right. Or,
Yeah, let's just see what happens.
softer.
All right, let's see how that impacts him.
Oh, it went higher.
Oh, a bit higher.
Well, I forgot. What do you mean by IPA again?
So initial peak acceleration.
Okay.
So that's coming into foot strike. So if he comes
Right.
more at a or vertical foot strike, that's going to be like
Yeah.
him slapping the ground.
Right.
And sometimes he might need just a little bit of time to get used to it.
Yeah.
I'm just sending you the running metrics explained. So once he's finished with that 5-minute run, you
Mhm.
can press stop, but let him get through this, like maybe do like 5:01 so it captures his interval of that.
Okay.
Perfect.
So
And then
then
go ahead and press stop.
it went down.
Yeah, it went down, so it definitely evened out. He got used to it.
Okay. Okay.
And then you can have Angel keep running, or you can have him off to the sides, whatever you want him to do.
You can stop, Dada.
Thank you.
I love it. So this is a high quality video, so it might take a little bit of time for this to load, and especially if you're on Teams.
I'm already in my iPad. It's already.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Right.
so mine's just taking a little bit on the
Yeah.
Teams.
The last time we
So
did. Yeah. Okay.
what does it say on the screen?
It says ASI 4.02%. I already. Oops. So it's.
Is there a green button at the bottom right? Oh,
Yes.
here. You can see it now. Okay. So press that green button.
Save and back to screen.
Is that the only option that it gives you? Sorry, mine.
It says save and jump to back to screen or save and back to screen.
Okay, let's go save and back to screen. And then you'll hit that hamburger at the top left again. So like it should be like the box with the 3 lines in it up at the top left.
Okay.
And then you'll click finish and save. So that'll be your first report.
Yes.
And then if you wanted to continue to do something else, like if you wanted to get into another test, that's where you can do save and jump to.
Save and jump to. Okay.
But let's go through this just really quickly.
There is a lag. Okay, so what I have is a movement report now, which is
Awesome. Yeah, so go ahead and click on that. Or what does it say at the bottom? Does it say sync all? Continue?
uh-huh.
Yeah, go ahead and hit continue.
Do I hit sync? It says
Yeah, you'll want to hit, yeah, you'll want to sync it. So that's going to sync it to the portal. It just won't sync the video. And then once you've synced it,
it's still uploading. There.
okay.
Hopefully that'll catch up.
And then do you want to go through the next run and then do the report review all after? Or do you want to
Yes.
review the report? Okay. So once it's synced, then we'll go back into the module and we'll click the manual one. So you can just see the difference of that one. And then we'll take some time and review the report.
Okay. This is so cool.
Good.
Are you
Glad you
getting
like
a lot of physical therapy clinics for this one, Maka?
What'd you say?
Are you getting a lot of physical therapy clinics for this one? I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
subscriber PT clinics?
Honestly, a lot of people are really interested in the running module. Yeah.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say like in your area, honestly. We really haven't had anyone. So that's good.
That's good.
Okay, go ahead and go back into subject.
You tap
Yep. And then let's do this again. So now you can go
Manual?
into, let's go to the manual.
Okay.
So this one, you're going to press start and stop. So you'll have to do it for at least a minute.
A minute.
Okay.
Okay. Do I tell him to once he gets into his the pace that he wants, give me a thumbs up, and then that's when I
would.
okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. My subject.
Let's go, Angel.
Okay. So get into your speed, and then let me know. Give me a thumbs up when you're there, and you're gonna run for a minute at least.
Okay.
And I'm definitely delayed. So once he's in that speed, you press start and then at least have him run for at least a minute
Okay.
to press stop. And you have to complete
Oh, it
3
says
reps.
hold on. It's asking you to rescan. Hold on, Daddy. Do you see my screen, Maka?
I
Do
do.
I just click?
Both blinking red.
Yeah, so go ahead and hit rescan sensors. Use
What's
last sensors.
Okay. Rescan sensors. Use flash sensors.
Okay, I got white and purple.
Is the left one purple, the right one's white?
Left one's white.
What? Left is purple. Should be purple. Yeah, you good. What?
This is my left leg.
Oh, okay. So left should be purple.
Left should be purple.
It's white. Ooh, did I mess it up, Maka?
That's okay. You can switch them.
Okay.
All good.
I'm sorry, you're gonna get a wax here. Okay, so we're good. Hold on, Dada. I'm still trying. Okay, so okay. Let me know. Go. Yeah. Just let me know when you're at your speed. Do you see my screen, Maka?
I do. So you see the button at the bottom where it says minimum of 60
Yeah.
seconds lap time? Okay. So we've added a timer in, but you can see where you're at. You're kind of at like that 30-second, but it'll go to stop once you've hit 60 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
So I hit stop when I get 60 seconds, or
So if you want to just time it for 60 seconds, then yeah, you can press stop. But if you want to see what he looks like for a 3-minute run, you can go for 3 minutes. But the maximum you can go is 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. I'm already past the 60, so I just keep going. Oh,
There's 60 seconds. You're good.
okay. Do I hit stop then?
Do you want to time him just for 60 seconds?
No, we'll do 3 minutes. Oh, 5 minutes.
Okay.
Do I click start again or no?
Nope, you're good.
Oh, wait. Okay, so I'm not getting this. So manual lap. So we're gonna do this for 3:15. No, I don't want her to. So I don't understand now. So I don't want him to run for too long.
Okay. So if you want him to run his first lap 2 minutes, then you can press stop.
Okay.
That'll be his first lap.
This is his first lap. Is it 2 minutes now?
This is his first lap. This is 2 minutes. So go ahead and press stop. So he's like at 2:15.
Okay.
So then for his second lap, how long do you want him to run for?
Just 2 minutes.
Okay. So then his second lap, once it's loaded, you're going to press start. And then from 2 minutes from that point, you're going to press stop. Okay. So save and continue. Now press start. Once it's loaded. Yep. So now your first 60 seconds is starting.
Mhm.
And then if you want him to run for 2 minutes, we just have to watch the timer, or the graph. So we started about 40 seconds in.
What is the benefit of making the runner run longer though? Longer
just
than
so you-
60. Yeah.
Yeah, so just so you can see, like, to your point earlier, like sometimes people have pain during like some of their longer runs, like, oh, when I'm
Okay.
5 minutes into my run, something like that.
Okay.
But you can also change it up. Like the first rep, you want to see 2 minutes. I want to see what you look like with 1 minute. The last rep, I want to see what you look like for 3 minutes.
Okay.
You just can't exceed a total amount of 15 minutes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I at 2 minutes already? Almost, right?
So there's 1 minute. You just have 1 more minute. I know that's why we need the timer on this. So it'll come on the next build, which will be pushed out this week, I believe.
Okay. I think this is 3 minutes already, Maka.
Okay, go ahead and press stop.
Oh dear.
It's okay. Just go back into the app.
What?
Did that crash or did you hit a button?
No, I think it crashed.
Okay.
Hopefully it's saved.
Yeah, it should save. Go to
Do I-
new test. Yeah, just go through this whole thing. Go to manual again. Rescan sensors. Use last sensors.
My runner is tired.
You're good. He can hop on. Next. Yes, continue.
There you go.
Okay, I'm making a note of that it crashed during that.
Or maybe it's my laptop or something. No. I mean my iPad. Could be my iPad too.
Watch, yeah. So this is making you start lap 2 over. So let's just have him go for 1 minute.
Okay. Was that 1 minute?
So once that button, that gray button turns to stop, like, and you're able to press it, that'll be 1 minute.
Okay, gotcha. There you go. I'm gonna stop.
And then he has one more lap to complete.
Okay. Save and continue.
Save and continue.
Just 1 more minute.
I think the sensor is.
The sensor is what? It's coming off? Oh.
That's okay.
Yeah, it might be worth doing like pre-wrap over top of those sensors.
Almost. Is it because you're sweating?
No, because we transfer.
Okay. There you go.
Awesome. Stop. And then he can hop off
You
on
can
the
hop.
sides. You're navigating the system really well. Like, I don't love that it crashed, but even when it did crash, you were able to navigate it and connect it really quickly. So that's great. So click, yeah, finish and save. Good job, Angel.
Thank you.
You look much better than what I would look like right now running, that's for sure.
Do we still need him?
Unless you want to do the acceleration deceleration test, or I can just talk you through that.
Can we like reattach the sensor? I think we need a new adhesive. Is that okay, Maka? Do we still have
Yeah.
time? Okay.
Yeah, you're good. I have us blocked off for until 4 o'clock, so
Okay.
you're good.
Okay. Let's change that.
Yeah, it's because I'm sweating.
You sweating? Okay. Let's get a white.
Hello. Can I have some? What? No?
Yes. I know. Eat that later, okay? Let me just get a. I don't know who's that. Can you get the adhesive done? Irina, don't eat that. Not yet. Where is it now? I lost it. Just put the adhesive on the thing and I'll get the. 1 second, Maka. I am drawing on Daddy's skin. Got it?
I can wait.
It will be okay.
Okay, thank you.
This is your right. Okay, that's attached.
Awesome.
Sorry,
Okay,
we have
so
like,
no, you're fine. So go ahead and press continue.
I think I messed it up on the first one. Think all.
Oh, that's okay. And then hit sync all. Yeah.
Hold on, Maka. It's still loading.
Yeah, no problem.
And my little one wants to eat this chocolate coin. So.
I
Oh.
understand.
It's still loading.
Yeah. It's probably a mixture of Wi-Fi and Teams, and then just it was a longer video. So
Do you have a name already?
no, we have a couple picked out, but we just haven't finalized them. And we go back and forth like each day. Yeah.
What name do you have?
So we have one is Niles, it's after his grandpa. And then we like Trey, Jace, James. There's like a couple. We have like a lot. It's just like goes different every day. Okay.
So, am I doing it right?
Yep, you're killing it. Yeah, press view, new test, and then run, and then acceleration, deceleration. So on this one, if his sensors were falling off, do you have pre-wrap?
Oh no, I don't.
Do you have Coban? Or the sleeves? Do you have sleeves that came in? Did sleeves come in the box at all?
Hold
Maybe
on.
not.
We attached a new, it should be good, Maka, because we
Okay.
changed the
New
adhesive.
adhesive.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what the directions say. Place 2 markers 10 yards apart. Instruct the runner to sprint from a stop. Accelerate as fast as possible, then decelerate. So go ahead and press select here, and we'll finish reading off those instructions. Okay, this is good to know that it's going to connect in between each one. So you'll just have to rescan sensors. And I don't know if you're going to be using every single exercise of the module, like for every, for one patient. So, but if you press use last ones, then it should always be white should be the right leg, left or purple. The same sensor should be the purple on the left. So I would just double check it, make sure he's good.
Daddy, come here. Is the left purple? Oh my God, why does it always switch?
No, left purple.
Oh, okay, that's right. It's your left, not my left.
Yeah. Right on right.
It's all good. Okay. So place 2 markers 10 yards apart. Instruct the runner to sprint from a stop. Accelerate as fast as possible, then decelerate to a stop. The runner will then walk back to the starting position. Repeat this 3 times. Make sure the runner is never more than 5 yards from the iPad device. So what you're going to do is you're going to place 2 markers out. Your starting position and your stopping position for 10 yards.
Okay, hold on.
Diba? 10 yards?
10 yards.
10 yards versus 30 feet.
30 feet?
Yeah.
I think we had, the accelerate, is it the same distance from the ACL decel with AMI, Maka?
Yes, it's just some people weren't getting enough steps, so it's just the way that we're doing it is a little different.
Okay. So
Now you can have them run further than 10 yards. It's just a minimum of 10 yards.
No, we're good. Stop. We're good.
Okay. So what Angel's going to do is you're going to press the start button. Can you guys still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to stand in the middle of those 10 yards. okay? Because you don't want to be too far away from the sensors or they'll disconnect. So you're going to press the start button. You're going to wait a beat, tell him to go. He's going to sprint and come to a complete stop at that second marker. Pause. He's going to like hold it there. Turn around, slowly walk back to the starting position.
Like
You
normal
don't do any, yeah, slow walk.
No,
Sharon,
there.
you're not going to touch the screen at all. He's going to then repeat that 2 more times. On his third sprint, you're going to hit stop.
Okay.
Okay?
So, Daddy, when I say go, run as fast as you can. You're gonna stop there, hold for like a second or two. Then you're gonna walk back your normal pace, and then you're gonna do that again. Run as fast as you can. Stop. Walk back normal pace. We're gonna do that 3 times. Is that right, Maka?
Nailed it. And come to a complete stop. Yep.
You're gonna come to a complete stop. Okay. Okay. Ready? Go.
Love the encouragement. That's awesome.
We have a spectator here. Stay there, Irina. Okay, do that again. Go. Complete stop. Okay.
And then turn around, walk back. And then after his third sprint, you can press stop. He doesn't have to walk all the way back on that one.
Okay.
Your guys' facility is cool.
Thank you. And go. Stop.
And then you press stop.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Angel.
Thank you. Got your workout today.
Yeah, heck yeah. You did more than I have in the last 8 months. That's for sure.
Well, you know what? Same here.
Right?
I'm not
It's
even pregnant.
It is always a work in progress.
Okay, so I hit save and continue.
Perfect. And then finish and save. And continue.
And sync.
Perfect. And then I have all of the reports already on your portal. So I can share my screen and we can go over the reports and you can kind of follow along on your iPad or however you want to play this. Doesn't matter.
I'll look at the laptop screen.
So I'm going to open up Auto Lap 1.
You can take off the sensors now, Dada. We're done, right, Maka?
We are. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen here.
Okay, so.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I sent you the running metrics explained. But here's the important thing I think to remember with the run. It's not as black and white as the AMI. Justin, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Just in the sense that we don't have those best practice recommendations because the running community doesn't really love when we have that because every runner is going to be a little different, right? So what I think is the most important is just like comparing it side by side and then understanding the difference of the ASI. So when we're looking at, and these are marked, hold on 1 second. Let me just kind of gather my thoughts here real quick. So this is the 60 seconds. So it looks like it's broken down 30 seconds. Hold on, let me just look at this real quick.
Are we done?
Yes.
Make a note on the.
Who's this?
Can I log out of Teams, Maka?
On your iPad?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. So when we're looking at, let's go to interval 2 because it's going to be from 0 to 60 seconds. I'm making a note for our developer. He might want us to see the 0 to 30, but from my understanding, we just want to see 0 to 60. So if we're looking at 0 to 60, when we're looking at it, so here's your left side, here's your right side. Oh, yeah?
Oh, hold on. Okay. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. I was like, yes. Okay, so on your graph here, so it looks like we have 0 to 30. So these might just be labeled incorrectly. I'm going to check with our developer, but we really want to see the 0 to 60 seconds because that's what we saw. So here, what we're looking at is the 60-second intervals, okay? So on your left side, here are all of your metrics, and then here's your metrics for your right side.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the ASI for each, okay? Below is your distance that he ran in the 60 seconds, the speed, and then also the cadence. So from a cadence perspective, that's important to the running community, right? Like typically it's like around 180 steps per minute, right? So he's taking a little bit longer of a stride, which I think probably impacts his IPA a little bit. But if we're going through ground reaction force, what that means. So ground reaction force correlates positively with an increased body mass and running speed. So that's how we get ground reaction force, speed and then body mass. So if you have a really light runner, like a 90-pound athlete or something like that, these might be just picked up incorrectly. So just make note of that too. Okay. So internal factors include body weight, muscle strength, motor control, soft tissue structures. External factors include running terrain, and the particular slope, and then the footwear. So are they in the right footwear, right? So higher ground reaction forces. So if we're looking here, so the left side, higher ground reaction forces typically means it's correlated with increased power, or poor muscle control of the lower limbs may also increase the ground reaction force.
Right.
So higher GRF. Oh, go ahead.
So, is there a particular, like the difference between right and left, like a number that you refer to? I know there is no metrics or something, but how would you know if the left is? I know, I mean, the left is higher than the right for Angel, but is a difference too
You're
much?
saying like from a symmetry perspective. So I would say like if you're in the green, you're good. Amber's a little too high, right? And then the red, we're kind of like it's a little high. But also making note that these are in G's, and like 3G compared to 4G, is that a big difference for you? So that's where the running piece is extremely important to know, like who your patient is, right? And like how this is impacting their run. So like a 1.5%, that's a 1% asymmetry.
Not bad. Yeah.
Not bad, right?
Not bad.
9% is like high. So that we're kind of getting into that like risky range there. And then also the 2% not high.
Right.
10% I would say is probably pretty high, and that's where we're going to start getting into the red. Okay. Does that help answer your question a little bit? Okay. So then as far as like the higher IPA, so if we're looking at that left side, so higher IPA could be because of poor limb control, also lower efficiency of running due to a higher vertical displacement of the heel strike. So if he's coming in at a higher heel strike. Okay. And then lower ground reaction value or GRF, so on the right side, could be contributed to increase in running efficiency. So that's a good thing. Some aspects include reduction in vertical displacement, forefoot running, better running strategies, and absorbing impact forces. So he's coming a little bit more at his forefoot as opposed to the heel strike. So if we're looking at it from right to left, his left, he's coming in a little bit more heel strike, not able to absorb, right? Lower limb uncontrolled. Right side a little bit more four-footed, which is great. Okay, which is then interesting from the IPA perspective. Because if we're looking at IPA, so initial peak acceleration is influenced by running speed and then also technique. So internal factors include muscle strength, pre-foot strike and foot strike mechanics, and then soft tissue structures. So if we're looking at like a lower IPAs you want. Higher IPAs, we're getting a little bit into that more provocative movement. So lower IPAs mean forefoot running tends to have a lower IPA, which is interesting, going back and forth to these two. And then it can also be associated by softer running surfaces or more cushioned footwear. So this could be like a good opportunity to like make a relationship with a running store, right? Like to test running shoes too.
Right.
Higher IPAs are associated with poor control during the landing phase, especially heel strike, where initial strike is abrupt, and it can increase the risk of stress fractures. So if they're coming in like at a more vertical displacement and slapping their foot, that's going to be less anterior control, right? So then foot like possible shin splints, stress fractures, especially, etc. So if you have like a cross country kid coming in and I have shin splints every time I start the season, this would be a really cool test to do.
Right.
Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, and then ground contact time. So right here, it looks like spending a little bit more time on the right side. So we have a lower ground reaction force, a higher IPA, and then a higher contact time. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So a higher ground contact time. So ground contact is influenced by effectiveness in interventions, such as changing technique or footwear. Higher ground contact time has been shown to increase with lower cadence, poor technique, mechanics, and fatigue. Sometimes changes due to the surface also. So if they're moving uphill, etc. So like lower ground contact time typically come from increased stiffness in the musculoskeletal system. So do they have an injury? Do they want to get off of that leg a little bit more? Do they have that spring in their step, right? Increased use of the elastic recoil mechanism or a more efficient running technique in higher cadence. So like if I'm looking at this, okay, lower GRF, higher IPA, lower contact time here. Does he have any injuries or anything like, or pretty healthy?
He's pretty healthy.
Yeah. So
Which knee was hurting for you, Daddy?
Right, left.
He has pain on his left knee, though.
Which is interesting. So he's getting off his left knee a little bit more. And not being able to control his ground reaction force as much. So now that he's not able to control that through mid stance and he's trying to get off of it, he's really landing hard on his right side to catch his right leg.
Right.
That's kind of interesting. So see how it's like knowing if there's something going on, it kind of makes the metrics a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
With the runner. Okay, then if we go to, I think we had him change his steps at one point. So like we had him go here. So I remember we said like take a shorter stride to your right. Okay. So what we were trying to accomplish was 405, dropping it down. So his IPA. And it dropped it like, but not significantly. So he's still within that range, like 3G to 4Gs. It's a 25% difference, but that's because we have like the 0.14 versus the 0.06, right? Total numbers, 3Gs, 4Gs. Am I super concerned about it? Probably not. The fact that they're still really low is good. Like anything, I think higher than like 6, 7 Gs. It's probably something you want to like look out for. The good thing is the ground reaction force really evened out as he was getting a little bit more comfortable and as he was taking shorter strides. And then also his contact time looked like it evened out a little bit too. He's still a little bit more hesitant to get off of the left side versus the right side.
Mm-hmm.
And then his cadence. So he went from 146
Lowered. Yeah.
lowered. So was he actually taking less steps? I don't know. Right? Maybe we should have shortened it a little bit more. And that's where you can
Mhm.
like play around with it and like do like a, what's that noise? What's it called? Like a running pace, like a cadence tracker.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The noise,
Metronome.
metronome. Yeah. A metronome with
Yeah.
them. See if
Yeah.
that helps.
That's right.
And then here's your cumulative. So here's your overall, so the average of all of these. So really, in the
Not
whole
bad.
retrospect,
Yeah.
it's not a huge difference, right? So he's pretty symmetrical when he's running. So he's a pretty efficient runner. But you do see like he does get off of his left side consistently. So it kind of
Mhm.
makes sense to his knee pain and his recoil. Was that a good understanding or a good
Yeah.
explanation?
I love it. I love it.
Okay. Pick up his manual one. Okay. So manual app. That's what it gives me. Okay. So manual app of run 1. So we had him run for like what, 2 minutes on this one, I think.
Yes.
So overall, you can see like he starts out pretty fresh. As he gets a little fatigued, we're starting to lose some of that symmetry,
Mhm.
right? So his left ground reaction force versus his right, his left side's a little bit lower, 5 Gs. So as he's getting more fatigued, his IPA numbers are shooting up a little bit too. And then he is spending less time on his left side. So very similar to what we're
Mhm.
seeing on his interval. Your ASI of this is going to be just ground reaction force.
Okay.
Okay. Manual lap here. So compared to his first rep, wow, this dropped quite a bit. His ground reaction force dropped quite a bit compared to his right side. So this
Mhm.
is interesting as he's getting more fatigued. Now his IPA numbers have also dropped, so coming in a little bit more horizontal. But he's still getting off this left leg. Yeah, that left knee, I'm sure it is hurting a little bit.
Mhm.
It would be interesting to see like his single leg hop on his AMI, just
AMI.
like, yeah, just doing like a single leg hop to see like what's going on that left side. And then as his last rep, so when he's the most fatigued, ground reaction force on his left side's low, IPA is low, and his contact time is low. So he's really trying to get off of this left side here. His
Mhm.
GRF symmetry getting up there, or asymmetry is getting up there.
Right.
Do you have anything that like you can make of this, to anything that you saw that can relate to the metrics at all?
No. I'm still trying to learn. I mean, I'm just trying to understand all this. But what I can think though is I kept thinking about his left, that he's trying to go off of it. I mean, get off of it because the numbers as he fatigues, it becomes low. The contact time becomes lower. Like, yeah. So I
As
don't
he's
know.
trying to get off of his left leg, this is what I think about. As he's trying to get off his left leg, his right leg has to catch him.
That's right.
So his right leg's overcompensating a little bit. So a little bit more poor muscle control here. So his right leg's trying to save him as he's trying to get off of his left side a
Yeah.
little bit
Mhm.
more. Okay. Any questions on the manual?
No, no.
Okay, then let's look at the A cell, D cell. Oh, it didn't sync all the way. Hold on. I pulled it up before it synced. all the way, I think.
Do I need to do something on my end?
Let's just see if it'll pull back up. Here we go. Okay, so on his acceleration deceleration, this is an average of all three of those sprints. Okay, and then it's also an average of his acceleration to decelerating here. So when we're looking at especially IPA, you're going to see a lot higher numbers here because he's really coming into the ground quickly, right? So as he's decelerating, it's okay for these numbers to be higher than that 7, 6 kind of threshold. But you want to look at the symmetry of between them. So you can really understand like, oh, one side you're really slapping into the ground, you're not moving efficiently versus the other side, especially if they're coming off of like an injury, right? Ground reaction force. So we're looking at this, the left side is lower, which has been consistent throughout the entire thing, hasn't it? So he's really having a hard time on his right side, like with his muscle control. So controlling his foot during mid stance, coming into the ground. And then contact time, this is interesting. He's offloading on his right side. Now, these are milliseconds, so it's not a huge difference. But compared to when he's just like typically running at a cruising control, then coming into a deceleration, because of his lack of control of his muscles, he's also trying to get off of his right leg a little bit more. So really maybe the reason why he's having left knee pain is because he's not because of this issue with his ground reaction force and his muscle control on his right side, and his left side's been compensating for a while. Maybe it's an overuse kind of thing.
Right.
Interesting. What questions do you have here?
So the right, the ground reaction force, 2147N. So what I'm thinking is, so the higher the number, that means there's like lack of muscular control, like you said. So that's why it's absorbing a lot of force on the right. But the contact time is lower compared to the left. So I don't know. So the left has been compensating for the right, probably. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I think, especially if he's having some knee pain.
Right.
So like he's really coming into like mid stance, not being able to control that on his right leg. So now his left leg's trying to decelerate a little bit more.
Okay.
This would be an interesting one to do like a couple, like maybe like a single leg hop and then like the ankle lunge to see if like maybe he's locked up on his, well, you've done AMI on him, right?
Right. So so the contact is kind of like the decelerate phase. Is that right, Maka?
The contact time?
Uh-huh.
Contact time is how long their foot has been on the ground for.
Okay.
Okay. So it's coming from acceleration to deceleration. How long is their foot being maintained on the ground versus from their left to their right?
Because you mentioned a while ago that the lack of muscle control on the right could be causing the increase in GRF, which could be why they are decelerating more on the left, something like that.
I think so.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because now this one has to like.
So that means they have
slow the
more
rotation.
contact time on the left. Is that right?
Yeah, on the acceleration deceleration. Yeah, and it's remember it's
Okay.
not like a huge difference, but like if we're
Right,
trying to
yeah.
understand like what the difference is there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Any questions?
No, we're good. And I'm interested to see he did AMI for his single hop. Is it okay if we open that?
Yeah. Level 2 will have it. I'm assuming these are all Angel.
Yes, for
Okay.
sure. Because the two other patients that I had done, they were just level 1.
Love that you're using it.
I'm planning to use this more and more. If I could just get, I mm, the last 2 patients I've had were low back, but the one coming in that we have is a shoulder. So
Oh, okay. Okay, so he doesn't have, the level 2 doesn't have single leg hop on this one. That's on me.
oh,
Let me
oh,
look.
that's right. But we did him one time, like the very first time. But I guess it disappeared.
Let's just look at the single leg squat here.
Oh, that's right. He did a single leg squat.
Okay, so tibial inclination, he's bending in his knee just fine. He's having a lot of valgus as he's coming into his left side at a high magnitude of speed, so not a ton of control. So if we're looking at, look at his right. So he's having pain in his left knee.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at his right leg. Okay. Large magnitude of valgus, a little bit more controlled. What was his tibial inclination on his last one, on his left side? Oh, wow. 43 degrees of tibial inclination on his left side versus 37 degrees of tibial inclination on his right side. So that's a pretty significant difference. Even though he's like maintaining the best practice recommendation, he's bending his left leg much more than he's bending his right leg.
Going into valgus, is that right?
Of tibial inclination.
Oh, tibial inclination. I wonder how his ankle is though. I mean, if he has any but his ankle is okay, right? It's a 9
Ankle
over
mobility
9.
looks good on bilaterally. Yeah.
Right. What about the hip?
The hip on his right side.
Oh, here we go again with the Trendelenburg.
So the good thing is he's maintaining under that 10 degrees just barely. So he's typically going into retro Trendelenburg on his right side. Do you remember how I got there?
Okay, hold on. Left is if the number is left. Oh, I forgot, Maka. I'm so sorry.
No,
I have my notes, but I don't have it here.
Don't apologize. Negative is left. Positive is right.
Okay, so positive is right. Okay, I can remember that. Okay, I got that.
Okay. And so we're seeing a positive trend here. And he's
Positive.
on his right leg.
Yeah, so he's going retro Trendelenburg, right?
Yeah. So he's side bending into that right side. Not like outside of where we want him to go, but he's not bending his knee as much on his right side. And he's having a high number of valgus. So he hits valgus literally every time but 1 rep. He's at 15 degrees of valgus here. And then on his left side, yeah, he's definitely hitting more valgus on his right, so less muscle control. And he's bending his knee more on his left side. So if we're comparing that, so if I'm thinking from like a deceleration standpoint, he bends into his knee more on a single leg squat. He's bending into his left a little bit more on his contact time. So that makes sense why his contact time would be higher because he gets lower on his left side. He has higher amount of valgus on his right side on his single leg squat, which makes sense of why his higher GRF is on his right side, less muscle control on his right side. Does that make sense to you?
It does. It's just that you lost me in the squat. I mean the other report. That one. So it's kind of like still like confusing for me, but I don't know. I don't even know where to begin to ask you questions.
That's okay. So why don't you look at this and interpret it the way that you see it?
So the red one, the average, the negative 15.01 valgus, this is the single leg squat right side. So that means as he bends his knee, as he squats, he has more valgus. So the knee drives more medial. Is that correct? Okay. So then you went down to this columns right here. Okay. And then you said he goes more to the left.
Oh, for the pelvic
For the
control?
first column, the valgus varus column.
Yeah. So when we're talking
What does that
valgus,
mean? Yeah.
when we're talking valgus, see how it's a negative?
Mm-hmm.
Valgus will always be negative. Positive will be varus for valgus and varus.
Okay. And this is the right knee. Okay.
Yep. And it will always be negative is going to be valgus. Positive will always be varus on valgus and varus metrics. For the pelvis, negative will always be to the left. Positive will always be to the right.
So when you say the valgus and varus column tells you how the knee is moving in and out, right?
Correct.
Valgus and varus. And then for that first column, it's mostly negative, so it moves to the left, which is, since he's on a right squat, it goes more valgus, right?
But don't think of valgus and varus as left and right. Valgus, varus.
I mean, I'm like, okay. Okay, go ahead.
Just separate those two. And I know it's a little confusing, but just separate those two. When you're thinking of valgus and varus, don't think left and right. Valgus is always negative. Varus is always going to be positive.
I don't get that. Positive what? Positive. I don't know.
No,
It's
you're totally fine. It's a lot. So you see how this metric is positive?
What does that mean?
They went into varus in this third rep.
So during the single leg squat, when they squat, and if it's coming from the right, the knee moves a little bit out. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that's where I'm like, when I say in and out or right and left, I'm like referring to the knee.
Okay.
I guess that's like how
Okay.
how I'm able to understand it.
So if we were to go to, oh, sorry, keep going.
So for for this single leg squat on the right, every time he squats, the knee deviates medially, which is why he gets a high negative 15 valgus number. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay. And then correlating that to his A cell, D cell.
Yep.
Core muscle. So that could be why he has a high ground reaction force, because the glutes is not controlling the knee that well as he impacts the ground.
Exactly. Poor muscle control. Nailed it.
Right.
That's how I think of it.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm like beginning to tie that in.
Awesome. No, yeah, that's perfect. It takes a while.
But the contact though is low, but that's by a millisecond.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm getting that. Thank you. Thank you, Maka.
Yeah. So if we were to go back over here, and I don't want to confuse you, I just want to make sure that this is all clear. So we're on the left leg. Valgus is still going to be negative.
That's right.
So it goes into negative. So he goes into a valgus motion every single time, but it's not as high.
That's right.
That makes sense?
Yes.
And he's still going into retro.
And you mentioned something a while ago that the right and left single leg squat, is that the tibial inclination was a big difference?
Yeah.
Even if it was in a green, 37-43?
Yeah, even though it's in the green, it's still hitting our best practice recommendations. But if you're comparing it bilaterally, he bends his knee on his left side.
Yeah.
Or not enough on the right. So it just depends on like, yeah, maybe it is too much, because you see how his numbers jump up. So
right.
But also I see, like, what I think about then comparing it to the acceleration piece of it. He's bending his left knee a ton, right? So he's getting low in his left side. If I go to his acceleration, his contact time is a little bit higher. It's like a millisecond off. But if I were try to
Right.
make sense of that, he's getting lower on his left side. So of course that's going to take a little bit longer on his contact time on that side
Right.
because he's getting lower. That's just how I think of it. But
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So the tibial inclination in the single leg squat, Maka, is it the tibia in the frontal plane or is it in the sagittal plane?
shoot, I always forget this. So it's in the that would be
Frontal
yeah,
or the sagittal?
it'd be sagittal, right? Because
Yeah.
it would be like here's my
Oh yeah, you're right. Sagittal.
tibia, here's my ankle,
Uh-huh.
right? And it's this angle.
Yeah,
that
okay,
I'm
got it. Sagittal. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. This is interesting.
I know. But at least I get to understand the valgus and the varus. I like that.
Oh, good. Good.
Awesome. Awesome. So you kind of like if you have a runner, you're doing them a disservice if you don't put them on the AMI, right?
Well, and so I'm very familiar with the run, or I'm sorry, I'm really familiar with the AMI. So I like to explain it that way. Now I have like a coworker who I'm hoping he's going to do like a webinar or just like a quick like tutorial of the running metrics. He can understand the running metrics in a second of why you are the way you are, how you're going to potentially impact your running down the line.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just more familiar with the AMI, so that's how I teach it because what I think it happens is like the run. Obviously, I want to do a running assessment if there's a runner. It's going to
Right.
show me where I need to look, and then the AMI is going to dictate a little bit more black and white of why are the mechanics the way they are once I've looked
Okay,
at the
that's right.
specific leg. That's how
Yeah.
I think of it. But you could also get really good at just understanding the metrics of the run and being able to just use that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
So I'm gonna have one of my coworkers come on to a call on Thursday with me, and I'm gonna try and have her record like just a interpretation, just because I think people can interpret the running stuff a little different from person to person, just depending on what you know from a running perspective too.
Right. I would love to see that.
Okay, yeah, I can send that over to you. Cool. As far as understanding of like the actual assessment goes, do you feel comfortable with that? Like, does that all make sense? Okay,
Yes.
perfect. You're navigating the app really, really well.
It's very user friendly, you know? It's just that I just
Good.
have to pay attention where I put the sensors.
You're not alone in that, but at least you'll catch it at some point, right? So it's all
I've like
good.
learned that I think it's best for me if I have this. Like every time I use this, I have that. So when
Awesome.
the app gives me the color of the sensors where I just put them in here,
Perfect.
you know?
Awesome.
Because I can't remember it.
No, that's all good. Yeah. Any other questions or anything else I can help you with?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. All right, I will send you that PowerPoint version. I've sent you the running metrics explained.
Mm-hmm.
I will also send you once we get like a video tutorial of like the interpretation done. I'll send you that over. But yeah, keep playing
If
around
you're
with
not
it.
on maternity yet.
I know, but I'll have so Shauna, who's my coworker, she'll be doing the month of May as far as like covering for me, and then also this girl Brittany, who's an athletic trainer, will be covering for me like June and July. So
Okay.
if you email me, I'll have like an automated email response, and it'll be like,
Mhm.
please email so and so, and it'll go right to them. But you'll be
Awesome.
in good hands. Shauna taught me everything I know as far as all of this stuff goes. She taught me like when I first started using it and then trained me on all of this stuff too. So she's an expert for sure. And Brittany's catching
Okay.
on to things really quickly. So
That's good to know. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, you will be supported. Anything else I can help you with or you feel good?
I feel good. I'm excited. I'll be reaching out to a soccer club here, so we'll see
Good.
how that goes. Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you have it's just do you have any tips as an athletic trainer? Did you used to work for a school? system?
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't work for a school. I managed all the athletic trainers who worked for schools.
Oh, okay. There you go. So, how do we, do you have any tips on like, reaching out to schools for this one though, considering that they
Yes.
already have athletic trainers?
Yeah, so I think the best piece of advice is athletic trainers are, and I'm going to stop recording it just so we don't go
Yeah.
not super long.